Broadcasting from an 1876 Virginia City, Nevada style bar in the hills of Encino in my backyard. Nary 5 feet from my bedroom, 10 feet from the bathroom. You're listening to legendary Outlaw Radio.
You sound like Rick Dees.
Matt, Jesus was the lead singer for Kaja Goo Goo.
Smiling eyes and loving thighs are breakfast. Most ne'er-do-wells don't never do so well. While my bank account's as barren as my wrist. Somehow I find my BSO with the sales. Dance with one, toss with dog. Skin was every day. Down with the town, try to get out. Never gonna be no slave. Oh, in exile. Oh, in exile.
News, get all the news. We mean all of you guys out there in Radio Land.
The following Outlaw Radio audio presentation is parody. Please be a grown-up and accept the following program as it is intended. Some elements of Outlaw Radio may not be suitable for anyone. There may be occasional content that offends you or that you find irrelevant. If that is the case, we are doing our job. Accordingly, listener discretion is advised. Outlaw Radio is not for everybody, but neither is kimchi.
Doohickey, the doohickey that rolls.
Hi, this is Meatloaf. Okay, kids, you know what time it is? You know what time it is? It's Outlaw Radio time! Our main event! Outlaw Radio.
Hi, this is Sean Young on Outlaw Radio.
Hey, this is Shelley Berman on Outlaw Radio. Listen, come on, listen to me or listen to Matt. If you like being bored, it's great for you.
It's Robert Hayes. I'm here on Outlaw Radio with Magic Matt, a.k.a. The Weasel. We are here to drink. We're here to smoke. We're here to interrupt. You may drink. You may smoke. You may interrupt, but I'm here to...
Live from the Lighten Up Lounge, this is Dom DeLuise saying, this is Outlaw Radio.
Hi, this is Chuck Woolery at Lighten Up Lounge on Outlaw Radio. There's lots of fun, guys. Be back, 2 and 2.
Hi, this is Gilbert Gottfried, and you're listening to Outlaw Radio, where we smoke, we drink, and occasionally we bother people who look old and weak.
Hi, this is Rick Dees with Magic Matt, a.k.a. Mr. Cigar, in the Lighten Up Lounge. We drink, we smoke, we interrupt.
How you doing, Lori Downey Jr.? Of course, you don't have your mic up, but it's not working.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da-da. What, Laura?
Wow.
Only when you get near it, Laura, because you start fiddling. I need your mic to work for this show to work.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, all right.
Okay, Laura, here we go.
Hey.
Here we are. Well, look around this 1876 Virginia City, Nevada-style bar. You got Mark C.G. Boyer.
Hello.
And I gave him distinct instructions before he walked in the bar. And it was simply, don't touch that blue chair.
And I knocked it.
And what does he do? Where's the feedback coming from?
I don't know.
My God. It's got to be something plugged in. Got to be headphones. Got to be something. Wow. You know, I should have taken a day off. Really should have.
Yep.
Too late for that. Here we are, my friends.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah. Excellent. Mark, have you sort of fiddled around, made sure there are no headphones plugged in? Have you done any due diligence there?
Just Billy and myself.
Yeah, so Billy must have his headphones up too loud. It's got to be going on. Billy is our HR man. HR here for this well-oiled machine known as Outlaw Radio. How are you, Billy Dilly?
I'm having fun.
He's always having fun. He's sitting in the Ralph Odierna chair. And the reason why I told Mark don't touch... Lori, were you here when I told him that? Or you were outside? I told him specifically, do not touch the blue chair. There was only one instruction today.
Right.
And that's because for our YouTube broad chase, meant to say cast, on YouTube at Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio, you just punch that in, you'll find our broad chase. I have that set up. There's a camera on the chair. And of course, then I check out the monitor, and it's no longer there. The picture I had, no longer there. And I said, well, what do you think happened here?
Well,
so you just don't care, Mark? You don't care about anything except eating snacks?
Yes, I do.
I mean, is that it? Bags of chips. You'd rather hit the chair and have bags of snacks all day than not hit the chair and go without crispy treats in a bag, right?
You should have probably told me not to hit some other chair, and it wouldn't have been a problem.
All right. How are you there, Laura?
I'm hanging in there.
Yeah, okay. I minding my own business last night after virtually no sleep the night before. I'm over there on the couch, and I'm watching some stuff on YouTube, which is my go-to. I like that better than Netflix. I like it better than Prime. And I fell asleep because, well, virtually no sleep the night before. Next thing I know, I am awakened in a shudder, in a panic. Lori's waking me. And this is probably 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. And I never sleep. So I am in the soundest sleep. And Lori walks through the door into this 1876 Virginia City, Nevada style bar and wakes me.
You jumped so far that...
Yeah, because I must have been in this hyper... I'll tell you what my dreams are about in just a second. Oh, you need to hear this one. This is some classic stuff. But Lori... And there's a reason why I bring this up. Lori woke me. Why?
Because there was a fire very close to the house last night.
Mm-hmm.
And I was shopping last night with my daughter at the grocery store, and they announced it over the loudspeaker. And they said exactly where it was.
Right.
So I panicked because of the wind, the Santa Ana winds that blow here.
Yes.
So I was really worried about you.
Okay. All right. Okay.
But you didn't answer the phone. I called you like 3 times.
Right.
I emailed you.
Yeah.
I even called Mark last night because I was really scared. I thought, does he even know this is happening?
Okay. All right. Now, once you found your abode safe, meaning no fire, not engulfed in flame, and you walked into the back and you noticed that, nope, this 1876 Virginia City, Nevada style bar, not engulfed in flame. You open the door and you notice me lying down there on the couch. Why did you feel the need then at that point, after you're aware that the fire has not reached us, why did you feel the need to wake me so abruptly?
Because I was annoyed that here was an emergency, and the one time it's like...
So
really
you're
urgent.
annoyed, and because you're annoyed, I need to be annoyed, and I must be awakened. Is that what you're saying?
Answer your stupid phone. When I'm calling you, it's important. Mark picked up.
Oh, well, that says it all. What does Mark have to do in his day except pick up the phone and eat friggin' tasty snacks from a bag?
Right.
That's what he does.
I said to Mark, Do you know anything about this fire? Have you seen or spoken to Matt? Because we have a big fire going on right now.
I need to put on my blazer.
Why?
Vanity.
Another Mr. Rogers moment?
No, I mean, we're on YouTube now. I should be at least a touch dressy. Jeez.
Oh, my God.
There. That dresses it up a bit. For those of you who, and I don't know why you would, but if you would, we're on YouTube.
You're standing in front of a bar. You like the maitre d' now?
Say what? No, I'm behind the bar, Lori, and yes, I'll take that gig. Are you kidding? If I get to serve up fine cocktails, then I'm in. So Lori awakened me, and I wasn't able to get back to sleep until about 3:30 in the morning.
Wow.
Crap.
Yeah.
So would you rather?
I would rather not know. I would rather not know.
And just burn to a crisp.
But you're missing the point. There is no fire. If the fire is engulfing the house, then I guess I would appreciate a little heads up. That's all. But because it hasn't reached the house, you probably could have let me sleep.
It was so close to the house.
Oh, jeez.
What?
The neighbor's house to the right, they're still there. This entire neighborhood is still here.
But it was close.
Unscarred by flame. But it was close, and so, Matt, you need to wake up and hear about it.
Yeah, you didn't hear all the overhead, the fire engines, all the overhead dropping water.
I ignore all that crap. We live in L.A. We hear that every second of the day.
Well, that's true.
Jeez.
But still, I was very concerned about you.
Especially with this regime in charge. Well, I appreciate your concern, and I more than appreciate the fact that finally I find some slumber and you wake me, and I end up watching 2 movies now because I can't. And the more I want to sleep, the less I can sleep. If I want to sleep, I can't sleep. But if I'm watching a movie that I sort of like, I can usually doze off because I'd rather be watching the movie. But that didn't happen either. I watched 2 movies in their entirety, and I'll get to those movies in a second. But when you woke me last night, and when I woke up this morning, same dream. It was, and I can't get specific about it because I don't remember the specificity. But Kippadata.
Oh no!
Was in my dream constantly.
That's a nightmare.
Sort of pestering me, and even though he was pestering me, the great comedian Kippadata, who was a friend of this show for many, many years, until he couldn't behave anymore.
Always.
And so we did not relinquish the new location here. We didn't want him dropping by.
No.
Because little Marianne from Don Wells from Gilligan's Island, he said some real crass things to her when she was over on the show the first time.
Yeah.
And he can't behave.
Remember that time?
But I miss him. But I miss the dude. Yes.
Remember the time when he came to the house like on a Sunday with this big dog, and he was knocking on all the doors, like for us to get up. He was like, "Get up!
Yeah,
wake up!"
Yeah, that's Kip. That's Kippadata. Annoying Kippadata. Great stand-up. I mean, tremendous stand-up comedian. I didn't know he was 75 when he died.
Young.
For some reason, I didn't know he was that old.
Oh, and I'm saying he's young.
You
know.
But he was born in Rockford, Illinois, and traveled the world, and not unlike Chuck Barris, he professed to killing people as well. he did.
Yeah.
That was a Kippadata.
Or the ability to drop a dime on somebody and have.
Oh yeah, and have him killed.
Have him whacked.
But he went on record as saying that he himself.
Yeah.
He committed murders, and maybe that's because of his Sicilian background. He wants to be the tough guy, or he really killed a couple people. I mean, that's Kippadata.
Do you remember when he had a hit on you, me, Ralph, Howard, and Johnny Cosmo?
Yeah, I'm getting used to that these days, though. It's just an everyday occurrence. Wake up. Oh, let's see. Who wants to hit me this time? Gets a little old, but what are you going to do about it? I don't know.
Yeah.
If everyone would just be nice. But that is way too much to ask. when he woke us up that morning from our slumber, when
banging on the doors.
Back in the days when I could get a feasible night's sleep, and that was abrupt, he took us up the street to the manager of Drew Carey.
Oh, yeah. With the dog.
With the dog in the hills of Encino, California. And I said, are they expecting us? Oh, yeah, they get together on Sundays and, they have libations and a little barbecue, and it's a lot of fun. And Kip Addotta had known this manager for years. It is a big-time manager. Drew Carey, I forget who else in his stable, but big names. And we entered, and it seemed a little off. A couple guys there smoking marijuana.
Yep.
Something I don't do, but, listen, if it floats your boat and you're not hurting other people, you're not behind the wheel, what the hell?
But Kip also wanted me to be in charge of the dog, and the dog was not even welcome. Yeah,
it was some big-ass dog that somehow he procured, and he was going to show it off that day. No, the dog was not welcome. Yeah. And this manager, who will remain nameless, big-time manager. I mean, you can look him up, and he was not one of the dudes smoking marijuana, by the way. But everyone sort of, they walk out, hey, what's going on, man? Hey, what's up? What's up? Like all the millennials say, what's up? What's up? And I said, well, I don't know. You got a cocktail? So we found a cocktail.
Oh, I remember that.
And now Lori and I are sitting in the backyard, and this big-time, high-powered manager is not the friendliest.
Oh, no. He was really annoyed that he didn't know us, and suddenly we're in the yard with a dog.
At his house, which gives me the indication that that maybe we weren't invited.
But it got worse because Kip went inside the house while that guy was outside with us, kind of pacing.
Yeah.
And he stole all those guys their weed.
Kip Addotta, the famous comedian, and we weren't aware of this at the time, but he stole their marijuana and supposedly threw it in the back of his trunk.
Yep.
And now this big time manager, he's pissed off because what? He's made aware of the folks inside the house.
Yeah, they were upset.
Their marijuana, they can't find it.
Right, and they knew that Kip stole it.
And so now this Kip Addotta's getting a ration of crap. I mean, expletives and nastiness from this big-time manager.
And he wants to call the cops to escort us out of there.
Yes, and I said, what? We were just minding our own business.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Don't you know I'm a big-time radio guy? I'll talk about you. I never said that because I don't think he'd give an ass. No. And P.S., I wouldn't care either. It's his house.
Yeah. We were not welcome, and it was like, out.
No,
I'm calling the cops.
So because of our association with Kip Addotta, that man will never be my manager.
No.
And I did nothing wrong except show up at a damn house where Kip Addotta promised us that we were invited.
Oh, yeah. Because you checked with them a couple times.
I said, are you sure this is good? Because I knew this manager because my other buddy, one of my true friends, Ryan Stiles, tall man of comedy, Drew Carey show, Whose Line Is Anyway, Black Hawk Down. He wasn't in Black Hawk Down, but the other stuff he was in. And he knew this manager very, very well, obviously, because of the association with Drew Carey.
Right.
And I thought, okay, yeah, I've always wanted to go up there. It's walking distance from where I lived in the hills of Encino. And it turned out poorly.
Oh, that was a disaster.
Kip Francis Addotta, and now he's haunting my dreams. This guy won't leave me alone.
He's still alive.
So Lori, to pay homage to this miscreant, but a great stand-up comedian, find, first of all, $7.98.
I got it.
That's one of the saved Kip Addotta. I got to find some of this Kip Addotta stuff and play it for you. He was on the show for years and then could not behave himself. I mean, don't be mean to Mary Ann from Gilligan's Island. You don't be mean to that sweet Dawn Wells, who is now, rest in peace, who is now passed. I love her. I love that woman.
Yeah, I miss her, too.
So this is a phone call from Kip Addotta.
Hey, Lori,
He's checking in. Do you recall what that was about? He would call you a lot, though, wouldn't he?
All the time.
Yeah. And nonsense was the conversation.
Yep.
One time he arrived at Outlaw Radio headquarters when we were in the hills of Encino, and he brought over a men's underwear.
Oh, my God.
Underpants.
That's when I first met him.
Right. And he handed them to you. And
me, yeah.
what was Kippadata's instructions?
He wanted me to take off my shirt and my bra, and he wanted me to put my hands through the underpants, like through the legs, and he cut out the crotch where I was supposed to stick my head through, and then walk back into the Lighten Up Lounge with just this man-made underpants upside down on my body with no bra.
And did you ask him why?
No, I said, I'm not doing that. And he said, you are a wuss. And he started putting me down. He put me down. So I was like, oh, my God, this man just started attacking me verbally.
Because you're not compliant with his wishes to wear men's underwear on your head.
Well, no, it was going to be on my body. The crotch was going to be like a sports bra across the front of me.
Yeah.
And it was probably his dirty underpants for all I know. I mean, he was that way anyhow. He was creepy.
Well, you know, when we'd visit him in the Hollywood Hills at his abode, when he asked if we wanted water, because he never served booze there, when he asked if we, and he would have a cocktail. When we were out at dive bars with Kippadata, I would buy him a drink or two, and he was extraordinarily rude to the barkeep.
Oh, yeah.
And he would call them barkeep.
Yeah.
Barkeep another one. Not please. Yeah. Not may I have one. Barkeep another.
Yes.
And then he would go on rants with us saying, well, but address your audience as ladies and gentlemen. Well, why can't you be a gentleman then, Kip?
He was so bad. We actually had him out with us on a hunt, where we were like putting together a new TV show, and we wanted to make him a part of that. Remember, that was your idea.
Oh, for the dive bar thing, yeah.
Yeah. That was your idea.
Yeah.
And that's when he didn't behave at all. It was embarrassing. I almost wanted to leave him there.
But he had us over at his newly acquired apartment in once again above Sunset.
Yeah.
So it was walking distance to all the clubs and so on. And he made for us prime steak, and this was the expensive stuff.
Oh, yeah, it was from Bristol Farm.
But he slapped it on the grill for about 30 seconds each side and then served it to us. Mm-hmm. And I said, this isn't rare. This is
raw.
Uncooked. Yeah, this is uncooked steak.
Tartar.
He said, wow, I thought you like your steaks rare. I said, this ain't rare. This is all red and bloody, and this is not what I'm looking for. But, I mean, I appreciate you spent about $150 on steaks. So he finally threw them back on the grill.
Yep.
And then he found some half-open bottle of bourbon, and we quaffed that. What I was going to mention is, at his other joint, before he found this place above Sunset Boulevard, we would go over and he'd offer us water.
Oh, yeah.
And then from the refrigerator would come bottles of water. Uh-huh. But they were previously open. So what he does is he would use all of the water bottles and refill them with tap water and put them back in his refrigerator, and that's what he would serve his guests.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
And who knows who drank from them?
Oh, man. Probably some really bad comedian friends. Yeah. So before we go to break here, play 086, Lori. Another homage to our dead former nutty friend Kippadata, 086.
Coming up next, he used to be a famous comedian. We found him panhandling on the streets of New York.
You can't laugh at a time like that.
Now, Kip heard us play that, and he was pissed beyond belief.
Yeah.
He said, don't ever play that again, I'll sue you.
Oh, yeah.
He was another one of these guys, like my buddy Marty Ingalls, who was married to Shirley Jones. All the good ones are dead. And by good, I mean at least colorful. And he said, I will sue you if you play that again. And I said, listen, it's not that I'm afraid of the lawsuit, Kip, but out of respect for you, I will not. And we never did.
Well, I did.
Oh, see, that's not nice.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as he was alive, I said we wouldn't play it. Yes, Mark?
I don't know why, but he took a liking to me.
Yeah.
And he would call me once a week, and we would have an hour or so chat.
Yeah. Well, he liked to talk.
It was really nice.
Yeah. Well,
But,
he was a fan of the Nebbish.
Yeah. Well, do you remember when he challenged Howard to a duel? Howard
Of course. Yeah, we were talking about that.
And so he had the video of him on the lawn waiting for Howard to show up.
Yeah, with a gun.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he calls me a week later, and I asked him, well, did you really ever expect Howard to show up?
Right.
And he goes, well, he's a man. He should have shown up as a man.
Jesus. He was a talent manager. He's not a man. He's a Hollywood talent manager.
And I said, hey, Howard can't outrun a turtle. Why would he show up?
Yeah. There's no chance of that. When we return, we'll come back to break with the long version of the Inside Edition Kippadata on Outlaw Radio.
Dees keep it dealing, thieves keep it thieving, whores keep a whoring, junkies keep scoring, traders on a meat track, strip just full of hushbacks, bitches keep a bitchin', clap just keeps a itchin', ain't no use in praying, that's a wasting, baby. Johnny is so crazy, Tom's gotta die for you. Get your rocks off, honey. Shake 'em now, get 'em up downtown. Get your rocks off, honey. Shake 'em now, get 'em up downtown. Creeps keep a crawling, drunks keep a falling, teasers keep a teasing, holy Joe's a preaching, cops keep a busting, hustlers keep a hustling, death keeps a knocking, souls are up for auction, and no use in praying, that's a wasting, baby. Johnny's crazy, Tom's got a knife for a lady. Get your rocks off, honey. Shake 'em now, get 'em up downtown. Get your rocks off, honey. Shake 'em now, get 'em up downtown. Get your rocks off, honey. Shake it now, get 'em up downtown. Get your rocks off, honey. Shake it now, get 'em up downtown. Get your rocks off, honey. Shake it now, get 'em up downtown. Get your rocks off, honey. Shake it now, get 'em up downtown. Get your rocks off, honey. 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 Get your rocks off, honey.
We'll be right back with more OutlawRadioLive.com. Don't go away, folks.
It ain't no joke, I'd like to buy the world a token, teach the world to sing in perfect harmony, and teach the world to snuff the fires and the liars. Hey, I know it's just a song, but it's spice for the recipe. This is a love attack. I know when Outlaw is back, it's just like any fat. It retracts before and back, and just like fashion, it's a
While driving along, top down, hair whipping in the wind, the radio turned up so loud bugs burst and birds scatter. You've got it locked on the greatest show on earth. Tanned, relaxed, and grinning. The legendary Outlaw Radio.
Well, if you just tuned in, we were speaking of the great comedian Kip Addotta. Rest his soul, died at 75 years old 3 years ago, this August. Man, where does all the time come from, as my buddy Ronnie Shell would say. Let's play this Kip Addotta Inside Edition, the long version. It's 088, Lori.
I got
Kip Addotta, our little homage.
He was once a really big star on TV, but have things gotten so tough he's resorted to begging?
He looks like any other elderly panhandler.
I'm leading a wonderful life.
But take a closer look. You might recognize him.
I'm Kip Addotta.
He's actually a famous comedian. His routine was huge in the 1970s.
Kip Addotta.
We found the professor, who's now 97, on 35th Street in Manhattan.
The alley is my home. Alleys, they're wonderful in many ways. I also have an affinity for drinking and throwing bottles, and I'm cool.
So next time you see someone panhandling, take another look. You never know who it might be.
Stay tuned. There's more.
All right, that's it. Obviously, that was concocted and put together by a friend of the show. He was never a panhandler, and he was never 97.
No.
But Kip Addotta, rest your soul. Remember how he hated Ryan Stiles?
Oh, yeah.
Kip Addotta was one of those guys who was sort of never happy unless he was unhappy.
Well, he liked to get everyone unhappy. That's what made him happy.
I guess. He was like that little 12-year-old in school that would put the whoopee cushion on the girl's chair, and then he'd say, "Yeah, but did I mean to? Did I mean to do that?" Yeah, well, you did it. I mean, yeah, but did I mean to? He was always the troublemaking kid, but he went through a real bad childhood, man.
Oh, yeah.
His dad beat the hell out of him.
Yep.
He went through hell, and if you don't think that stays with a person, it did in this instance of the great Kip Addotta. But he hated Ryan Stiles, and it goes back to a Friar's roast in New York City, where Ryan introduced Kip Addotta was one of the roasters, and Ryan Stiles, our former buddy, I haven't talked to him in a while.
I know.
I think it's a political thing. I think ever since he found out that I voted for George Bush. I don't know. And you know, Ryan Stiles, one of the nicest, sweetest guys in the planet. I love him. But he's so apolitical. But because all his friends in showbiz are big lefty dip asses, he sort of thinks, well, that's me. And he grew up as a Democrat, as I did in my family. The difference is I grabbed a modicum of intelligence along the way and said, well, this is sort of stupid. This is not about helping the poor. This is about keeping everyone down is what this is. So that's why I became a conservative. But Ryan, being apolitical, he never really searches for the info, and he doesn't do any sort of investigatory stuff. He just goes with what his friends do and his parents.
Yeah, but he also was.
His mom was Canadian. His mom.
Right.
And right off the bat, you know which way she leans politically. And he loved his mother. I don't know if she's still alive. I mean, last I checked, she was, but I don't know. But he certainly took care of his parents, as his parents, and I think they were very loving parents, took care of Ryan Stiles.
Yeah.
But Ryan at the Friar's Roast in New York introduced Kip Addotta sort of like this. He said, and now now the only man on stage tonight who is here for the money.
Right.
Whoa. Oh, did that piss Kip off? So he hated him right out, and you can never buy it back with Kip. Once you piss him off, once you cross him, It's over.
Oh, yeah.
And so there was no love lost. But, Ryan said, it was because he brought it up to Ryan one day on Outlaw Radio. He said it was a joke. It's a joke. It's a roast.
Yeah.
But you're not roasting me. And I forget who they were roasting that day. But he said, you're not roasting me. He said, it's a joke, Kip. It's a joke. Get over it. But he never got over it.
No.
Yeah. But, so I watched 2 movies last night.
Was Kip in any of them?
No. But
he was in your dream.
But I wonder if somehow, because the mind works in sort of odd ways and connects weird instances and thoughts that are in the in the recesses of your noggin. And I watched A Dangerous Mind, which I only watched one time at the theater. That was the movie about Chuck Barris and his life as the game show guy. But half of the movie was about him working for the CIA and killing people.
That's probably what the connection was.
As a hitman. And so, and knowing that Kip Addotta professed to being a hitman on occasion, I think that entered into this. And it wasn't a nightmare. It was just simply a dream where Kip Addotta was in my face constantly.
Oh, God.
I kind of liked the movie.
I did too, man. And that's why I watched it again.
I thought he did a great job with it.
Well, who's he?
Chuck Barris. Whether it's true or not, who cares? I thought the movie did really well.
Well, that's the thing. As I'm watching it the second, because the first time I'm watching it, I'm thinking, was this guy really a hitman? And I thought, no, Chuck just needed some sort of another story to make his story more interesting.
Oh, yeah.
And make this an hour and 45 minutes. So Chuck, in his devilishness, I love Chuck Barris. I interviewed him one time. And I wish I had that time back, because I was always a fan. Since I was a kid, when I was living in Everett, Washington, and took that Greyhound bus to Hollywood to audition for the Gong Show, it's not that I wanted to be on the Gong Show. I had game show ideas that I wanted to share with Chuck Barris, because I thought, this is my kind of guy, just nutty as hell. And at that time, I was apolitical, and this guy had a cauldron of hippies in his office. I mean, that was his office, with all these, flower power, and it was mid to late 60s and then into the early 70s. But my interview with him, he showed absolutely no sense of humor. He was extremely serious, and it was a phoner. He was back in New York. He decided to leave France. He loved France, and he lived in France for many years because he felt shunned by Hollywood. And that Gong Show thing really messed with his head, because the critics would pat it every day, and the general folks, he had that common touch, so he knew what people wanted to watch on television. But occasionally, a non-critic would say, that Gong Show, boy, that's the worst piece of crap ever. He would take that stuff to heart.
Oh.
And then he couldn't get arrested for a while, so he moved to France with all his money.
Yep.
He eventually came back because he decided, I'm going to give this another shot. Moved to New York, then came back to L.A., pitched some stuff. Boom, it never happened, and he sold off all of Chuck Barris Enterprises. And that's a lot of stuff. That's Newlywed Game. That's, what's the other? Dating Game.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Keep it simple. And he did. He kept it simple, and it was funny stuff.
I miss Gene Shane, the dancing machine.
Oh, what a fun addition to that. And, the last days of that Gong Show, you sort of watched the slow deterioration of Chuck Barris. It looked like he was drunk. He was drinking big buckets of beer on stage.
But always adorable.
Yeah, always that little, adorable sort of gnome.
Yeah.
But I always liked him. And I
Remember that dance? Dun, 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 dun,
yeah, that's Gene the Dancing Machine. But better than Gene was Chuck's dance when he would dance off stage as Gene would come on stage.
Yep.
And P.S., I did audition for the Gong Show. I did get the gig, by the way. They wanted me on. They set up a rehearsal time with Milton DeLugg, who was the music director at the time. Famous guy, Milton DeLugg. And then they had to put in a call to my parents in Seattle because they had no contact number on me at the Motel 8 on Cahuenga, where I was staying, which turned out to be a hooker motel.
Wow.
And, well,
Nice. You learn young.
Yeah, I'm 15 and a half years old. You know, I don't know. I don't know why those scantily clad women are all using the payphone outside the hotel.
God.
You know, I don't.
Connection.
Someone tried to get into my room at about 4 o'clock in the morning too. I was in one of the motels facing Cahuenga in Hollywood. And this isn't the best part of town. You know, it's not like the most terrible, but it's not a great part of town.
I wonder if that place is still there.
No, Motel 8 gone. And the Old World Restaurant. See, the reason why I chose Cahuenga is I knew that the auditions for the Gong Show was at a restaurant formerly known as the Old World Restaurant. It was this gutted, almost knocked down restaurant that they used for auditions. I mean, you'd have to walk over chairs that were three-legged and crap all over the floor to get into this studio that they made up. Because Chuck, I guess he found this place, and hell, if they're going to rent it to me for damn near nothing, we'll use that to audition. That's why I was at the Motel 8 on Cahuenga. And 4 o'clock in the morning, I hear this rustling outside, and my window, the noise of someone trying to get in through the window.
Trying to get through the window to you?
Yes. I mean, I could be a dead man right now. I would have been a dead boy, 15 and a half years old. So what do? I turn the TV up really loud because I think noise is a good thing. And I call the front desk, and this little Asian dude shows up at my door with this giant, what do they use for cars? You know, that crowbar.
Oh.
He shows up with a crowbar, and he said, this guy is like 5'3" with a crowbar. And he says, what's going on? And I explained. He said, okay, and he goes out and he says, yeah, they tried to tamper with your window.
Who were they?
Whoever the guy was that I scared off by turning the TV up really loud.
Maybe it was a woman.
Well,
that might have been fun.
It wouldn't have been fun because that's someone all drugged out and, trying to get into a damn room at a Motel 8 on Cahuenga. It's not a good idea. We're not going to break yet, Lori. Were you going to break?
I was.
Yeah. I mean, no, because we got into this a little late.
I'm good on time.
Yeah, no, Lori, I love you, man. But
Sometimes.
you are the worst on time. Do you know that Lori Downey Jr.'s math acumen is about equal to that of a gnat?
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Believe me, I am no math major.
No,
Billy Dilly, our HR man, is brilliant when it comes to math. But it's something that it never set. It never fixated itself in my head. So I know the basic crap, but Lori can't,
Well, I can tell time, and I'm looking at the time right now, and I'm thinking, are you seeing the clock?
Lori, what's 20% of 150?
The answer.
Yeah, I could have given her
30.
the easy one, 20% of 100 and
20.
At least several. I'm not asking you, Billy. I'm asking. Okay, now let's go to break. I've had enough.
We have 30 seconds left, man.
No.
Who said?
He doesn't know what you're talking about. Stop trying to be Matt's friend.
Oh, you're doing the math, Mark. Yeah. Well, when we return, I'll tell you about the other movie I saw, and I really, this time I will make it interesting. And we lost a great actor, man. I love this dude an awful lot. Plus, we may be talking to our Wisconsin connection because I love this guy. He's a truck driver, and he told us what was coming down with the truck drivers way before it hit the news. All that and less in minutes on Outlaw Radio on YouTube. Simply punch in Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio. We have a podcast, too. I mean, we got it all going on, and then nothing going on.
Up to be somebody that just loves to learn, and another child grows up to be somebody you just love to burn. Mom loves the both of them. You see, it's in the blood. Both kids are good and bound. Thicker than the mud, it's a family affair. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. What a bear. Still checking each other out. Hey, nobody wants to blow. Nobody wants to be left out. You can't leave cause your heart is there. But you can't stay cause you've been somewhere else. You can't cry cause you look broke down. But you're crying anyway cause you're all broke down. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. Yeah, family affair. One child grows up to be somebody that just loves to learn, and another child.
We stand for fun. We stand for great cigars. We stand for the perfect martini. And we stand for the American flag. We are Outlaw Radio with Magic Matt Allen.
Best Rolling Stone song ever. Ever. So good. That black chick who sings is the best. I wish I had her name. She's famous. She sang backup for many, many groups. But this broad makes this song work. Mick Jagger and the Stones, who won't do, what's the song they won't do anymore? How Come You Taste So Sweet? What is that song?
It's, Brown Sugar.
Brown Sugar. Yeah, you know they won't do that song in concert anymore because, well, of the racial overtones. Mick Jagger worried about racial overtones with one of the classic songs of all time. Yeah, that's where we are, my friends. Yeah, I'm going to tell you about this movie when we return in just a minute because I want to get Ronnie Shell on the phone.
Ronnie Shell?
Yeah, hopefully he's still late. Yeah, he ties into this.
Okay.
Ronnie Shell from Gomer Pyle. You know, my only friends in showbiz are in their 90s, as it turns out, with the exception of Ryan Stiles, who just turned, what was it, 64? 63, 64?
Yeah, I think he's like 63.
How about that, Lori?
He's young.
Yeah.
Mary Clayton?
Yeah, Mary Clayton is the black chick in Gimme Shelter. Oh, she's good. God, she's good.
Yep.
Hope she's still with us. One day I'd love to interview. So many people that I'd love to interview, so little time.
Is she 90?
But, well, she's got to be up there. You know, Jagger's almost 80. And Paul McCartney turns 80 in, a month or so?
He was just performing here in L.A. last night.
I love that Paul McCartney. I love that dude. He loves performing.
He's touring.
You think he needs to work?
No, but he loves singing. He loves performing.
He does, and he's a great guy. And
excitement.
Yeah, I spent an hour and a half with him back in the early 90s, and I had the greatest time. He is the most down-to-earth, coolest dude you'd ever want to spend time with. And the fact that he's a Beatle is sort of, hey, remember when you were with the Beatles? And he said, yeah, I do. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Calvin Klein is now featuring a pregnant transgender man as an underwear model in that Mother's Day campaign a few weeks ago.
Wait a minute, how is that?
Beer belly.
Yeah, the latest marketing campaign from Calvin Klein features a pregnant transgender man as an underwear model, with the fashion brand saying it wanted to spotlight the realities of new families in honor of, ironically, Mother's Day.
Oh my God!
Does that?
I want to understand what's happening here.
Well,
I ain't exactly clear.
You say what, Mark?
I ain't exactly clear.
How can he be a pregnant man?
I'll tell you, I'm completely clear. It's about indoctrination.
Yeah.
It's about making the abnormal normal. Look up the word normal in the dictionary. It has a meaning. Normal has a meaning. It's making abnormal become normal. And shame on these school teachers. Oh, I will get into these little idiot sticks next. If I had a kid in school these days, my child would not be in school. I'd be homeschooling. That I promise you.
Well, that'd be fun.
A lot to get to in mere minutes on the Big Dog. Well, as long as you're not teaching her math, we'll be this after back on Outlaw Radio.
Mama, you understand that? Well, like I understand how you can, cause like I've been to, Paris, Beirut, Iraq, Iran, Eurasia, I speak very, very fluent Spanish. Todo da bien, chévere. Understand that? Chévere. Chévere. Is that right, mama? Yeah, cause I got my shaking room. Everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. Always reaching out in vain, just taking the things not worth having. But don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing, mama. Cause I'll be standing on the side when you check it out. You say your style of life's a drag, and that you must go other places. But just don't you feel too bad when you get fooled by smiling faces. But don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing, mama. Cause I'll be standing on the side when you check it out. When you get off your chair, don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing.
You know, we're the last line of defense. And really, the comedians are the last, the voice of truth in this whole thing.
Hi, this is Meatloaf. Okay, kids, you know what time it is? You know what time it is? It's Outlaw Radio time!
Outlaw Radio for all of us. Outlaw Radio for all of us. Outlaw Radio for all of us.
Hi, this is Sean Young on Outlaw Radio.
Hey, this is Shelley Berman on Outlaw Radio. Listen, come on, listen to me or listen to Matt. If you like being bored, it's great for you.
It's Robert Hayes. I'm here on Outlaw Radio with Magic Matt, a.k.a. The Weasel. We are here to drink. We're here to smoke. We're here to interrupt. You may drink. You may smoke. You may interrupt, but I'm here to...
Live from the Lighten Up Lounge, this is Dom DeLuise saying, this is Outlaw Radio.
Hi, this is Chuck Woolery at Lighten Up Lounge on Outlaw Radio. There's lots of fun, guys. Be back, 2 and 2.
Hi, this is Gilbert Gottfried, and you're listening to Outlaw Radio, where we smoke, we drink, and occasionally we bother people who look old and weak.
Hi, this is Rick Dees with Magic Matt, a.k.a. Mr. Cigar. In the Lighten Up Lounge, we drink, we smoke, we interrupt.
day. Welcome back, my friendlies. Welcome back to the big dog. Broadcasting. Doing it doggy style across the country and the world. On YouTube now, Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio. Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio. You'll find us on YouTube. How fun is that? Only you can decide. I'm bringing on a buddy of mine. You have that Gomer Pyle theme ready, Laura? All right. Yeah, why don't we bring him on? I love this guy. Here we go. Today, Gomer Pyle was a show.
Still on every night.
Ronnie Shell was Gomer Pyle. Well, he wasn't Gomer. He was, what was your character?
Duke Slater.
Yeah, that's right. Duke Slater. I should know that by now after all the years we've known each other. I knew you when you were younger than I am now. How about that, Ronnie Shell?
That's right.
Huh?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
91.
And
91.
Now we're all old. Who said 91? I'm not 91.
Ow! Are you 90?
Yeah.
I was thinking of my buddy Milt Larson, owner of the Magic Castle in Hollywood, California. He just turned 91.
Is he still around?
He just turned 91, Ronnie. I see him every other week.
One of his associates invited me over there to the Magic Castle.
Yeah, and?
I think I'll take it if it's a freebie.
That's right. Huh?
Why not?
How about that?
How's the food over there?
That's no food. Oh, at the Magic Castle, it's gotten much better. Hey, for those of you not aware of what this Magic Castle thing is, it's a private club that was formed in 1962 and a half for magicians and those who appreciate prestidigitation in the hills of Hollywood. And a short drive for Ronnie Show from Brentwood. Yeah.
And it never closed. Closed.
What?
It never closed. It stayed open. It's still open.
Yeah, well, it did close during the BS pandemic crap.
I thought there was a fire there once.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, all the great places went down for that. But and here you are still in California. I guess at 90 years old, you'd probably like to get out of this state run by a bunch of morons. But it's just too late now, isn't it, Ronnie?
Now, wait a minute.
What?
I'm a registered independent. I can go either way.
Ow! Did you hear that yow? That's our HR man, Billy Dilly, Ronnie Shell.
Down and around.
There's only one way to go.
Down and around. That's two ways to go.
Down and around.
Isn't that two ways to go?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's right. How many guys you got over there today?
Hey, listen, too many. But what I want to ask the great and legendary comedian, stand-up guy, and hey, what did you think of? We were talking about Kip Addotta in the first hour. What did you think of Kip Adotta's stand-up?
Is he gone?
Yeah, he's been gone for 3 years now.
No.
Yeah. You're always the last to hear about your fellow comedian.
Who'll do my hair?
Oh, man. See, you do know Kip Addotta. Kip Addotta did hair for a while in Beverly Hills. How did you know that, Ronnie?
I knew him way back when. Wow. I liked him. He was a good guy.
Yeah, he was. He, nutty as hell and loved to cause problems, but not unlike Ronnie Shell.
What comic isn't nutty?
Yeah, but you're a troublemaker, Ronnie. And this is the main reason you're on. I mean, there's so many reasons to have a Ronnie Shell on your show, but
of course.
But the main reason for me is I watched a movie last night called 2 Days in the Valley. Did you ever?
Oh, really? Yeah, I remember that.
Okay. I never saw it. I never saw the damn thing. So it was a first time.
You just told me you saw it last night.
Yeah, no. I know what I'm saying is it's a 1996 movie, 27 years ago, and I never saw the damn thing, but when I saw it pop up there on Prime, I said, I think that's something I heard about that I might be worthy of watching. And it's a crime film. It's sort of dark humor. And
who's in it? I forget.
Okay, this is where you come into play, Ronnie Shell.
Okay.
Was it or was it not Paul Mazursky that day that Lori Downey Jr., our producer of Outlaw Radio, and my own self, showed up at Farmer's Market?
I already tell you, it was Paul Mazursky.
Okay, it was Paul Mazursky.
And he was in that movie.
Yes, he was. He was also in a movie that he directed, one of my favorite movies of all time, The Tempest, with Molly Ringwald. And that
I do remember that.
Yeah, Raul Julia. It was a great movie, one of my favorite movies, and obviously an adaptation of the great Billy Shakespeare. But it's a
Was it better than the Cat from Outer Space?
that stars Ronnie Shell.
So?
Nothing is better than a feline comedy starring Ronnie Shell.
How about Gus?
What movie?
Gus, G-U-S, the mule that kicked field goals for the NFL.
Oh, yeah, the Disney flick, right?
That's me.
Yeah.
That's me.
And Matt, you were saying he was in Rugrats?
No, that's my.
I did one Rugrats. I did one episode of Rugrats.
Oh, you did. Well, but we were talking about my dead buddy and your friend. And
who's that?
Because of him, Mr. Carlin from the Bob Newhart Show, you started coming to Outlaw Radio. It was because...
Jack was a very close friend.
What a sweet guy, man. Jack.
What a talent.
Yeah.
What a talent.
Yeah.
He was really a talent.
He started off in radio, Jack Riley, with a partner...
In Cleveland.
Yeah.
In Cleveland.
And they did... And it was... Boy, those are the days when radio was great, huh, Ronnie? And Jack Riley...
That's right.
His role...
And they had radio personalities, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. And Jack Riley as Mr. Carlin on the Bob Newhart Show, just what a depiction of a crazy guy that was perfect, and he never out of character, and I love that. Yeah.
When you got Jack Riley on camera, you got Jack Riley off camera.
Yeah, you do. So,
but Mel Brooks, case in point.
Yeah.
Case in point. I like to say that. Case in point.
Yes, Ronnie Shell.
Case in point, he did a couple of movies for Mel Brooks. Mel Brooks loved him. And Mel tells a story about he was in High Anxiety. Remember High Anxiety?
Of course.
And he played a guy behind the counter at a hotel.
Right.
And he could not get one line. He only had one line. And the line was... if someone says something to him and he says, okay, and he looks out and goes, Dennis, a la Jack Benny, right?
Right.
Dennis, he couldn't get it.
Oh.
And he never did get it. Finally, they had to cut and go to lunch and come back, and I think they superimposed somebody else's voice, but there were times when he would be befuddled.
Jack Riley would be befuddled.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Dennis.
He was a hell of a. Jack Riley was a hell of a piano player as well.
Very good. He loved jazz.
Well, let's go back to the farmer's market about and Mazursky's been dead for about 7-8 years now. Right?
3 years. 3 years.
That's not what I read.
Okay, then whatever you read is
whatever. Maybe you're right, Ronnie. You knew the man.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right and maybe I'm wrong. Remember those songs?
Oh yeah.
I'm watching this 2 Days in the Valley, and it is a plethora of stars in this thing. I mean, great actors. Including,
I wasn't around. I wasn't available, so that's why I couldn't do it.
And I see that face, and I thought to myself, is that Paul Mazursky?
It was.
And it was Paul Mazursky because I stayed for the credits. And he was not only a great director, but a great actor. And so that day at Farmer's Market over there in Hollywood, Cali, where you invited Lori Downey Jr. and my own self for an...
And I'm inviting you again. We're still meeting every Friday.
Okay, but sans...
Leave me home.
But sans Paul Mazursky. Let me explain.
Yeah.
So we showed up to this little get-together in the world-famous farmer's market. We sit down at a table. where Paul Mazursky is sitting and some gal that I've never heard of, Ronnie Shell and Lori. All of a sudden, some other folks start sitting down, but then fast forward 10 minutes later, first Paul Mazursky gets up and he grabs another table. All of the others slowly get up and grab another table. Okay. And you think
and there you and Lori are left by yourself.
Yes, and you think this is funny. So we left. We left, and what I wanted to do, and the reason
was funny.
But Paul Mazursky did not seem like the most affable guy when it came to newcomers.
He had a very he had a great sense of humor, but he could put off people. If you didn't worship him, he would have nothing to do with you.
Ronnie Shell, I was ready to worship him. I wanted to talk to him about his movies. I wanted to talk to him about The Tempest, one of my favorite movies, and he never gave me that opportunity because he left.
It's a little late.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, it certainly is, man. Yeah.
I would love to tell him that story.
Yeah. I wish you weren't dead, because I had to look him up, and I thought, is he still around? And then, oh, damn.
You know, there's a table there at Farmers Market that has his picture and everything. He has a special table.
Yeah.
That you and Lori ought to come by.
Would we be allowed to sit there?
Yeah. So you can leave us again?
No. This time I would demand that you stay. No, here, why don't you come next Friday?
I would love to, but it's you old bastards.
You're not going to be left.
You old bastards get together so damn early. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah,
it's early for me too. 9 a.m.
It's just, and in rush hour from the valley over to the farmer's market, that's scary, man. But I do. I would love to. So tempt me, Ronnie Shell. I mean, not that you need to, because I love getting together with a great Ronnie Shell. But
well, then just do it.
But what other notables? Are still, because all the good ones are dead, Ronnie. So
you're absolutely right.
Yeah,
I'm not going to lie to you and tell you falsehood. Yeah. There are not many. I'm trying to think of some of the stars. Well, we did have for a while the star of the Goldbergs. What's his name?
Oh yeah. Come on, Mark. You're a Jew. You should know. What the hell's his name? Hey, Lori, we saw him do a stand-up routine in Burbank. The guy.
I heard it wasn't too good.
No, it was not the greatest, but he seemed like an affable, nice guy.
Well, we had him in until he got fired from the show, and then we never invited him back.
Oh, that's nice. You're a fine cast. So you mentioned one guy that.
Wait a minute. Well, I'm not finished.
Okay. Yes.
Me, of course.
Jeff Garland. Hold on.
A very, very funny man. A very funny comedian named. Oh shit.
Yeah. Nice.
That's a hell of a name for a comedian.
Wait a minute, I'll think of it.
If you can't think of his name, then we don't know.
He's going to kill me. No, he's funny. He's in the series called Billions. Billions? Yeah, Billions.
I don't know any of these newfangled series, but Jeff Garland is Jeff Garland. That's the guy we were trying to think of.
Yeah, Jeff Garland. Yeah. Now he's not. He doesn't come around anymore.
Yeah.
We have. Let's see, who else?
Don't you know Ruth Buzzy?
Very well. Yes.
Okay. Is she in town? Because if she's in L.A., I would look. Oh, she's not.
No, she married a private investigator.
Yeah.
And they moved out of town, and she's somewhere else. But she's a lovely lady. Lovely lady.
Well, hook me up with her. We'll do a phoner with her. Not to take.
Why are you so? Why her?
Because I like Ruth Buzzy. You have
good taste.
Yeah, she's a good gal.
You have good taste. Good gal. I'm trying to think of these other people. The other ones aren't as notable.
Yeah.
Well, there's Dave Poland, who has a...
Never heard of it. Yeah.
What do they call those things where you're online and you do reviews? He does that.
Movie reviews?
He's done that for 40 years. Huh?
Movie reviews.
the only guy who ever worked for and survived, the guy that I used to get in arguments with, I think I got in an argument with you on your show, was married to Shirley Jones.
Marty Ingalls. We were talking about Marty earlier, too. Oh, yeah.
Remember when we almost got in a fight?
Oh, yeah, because Marty liked to fight.
Yeah, but he never really fought. He would talk a fight.
Yeah, and he would threaten to sue you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, he why did you bring him up? Oh yeah, he used to come occasionally.
You brought him up. Hey,
yeah.
Ronnie.
I'm sorry I did.
Ronnie Shell.
He used to come too.
Ronnie Shell, you could probably help me here.
Go ahead.
I just celebrated a birthday, and I am I am my
How old are you?
I am my upper 50s, and I feel I feel so freaking old, and that I don't know what to do with myself.
Are you still smoking cigars? You still smoking cigars?
Right this second, you bet your ass.
Good. Well, I do. I don't smoke as many, but I still smoke cigars.
What does this have to do with me feeling like crap that I'm now an old guy?
Because cigars can get to you.
Now, please.
They didn't get to George Burns. They didn't get to Danny Thomas.
Yeah.
They didn't get to Ronnie Shell. They didn't get to
Milton Berle. Milton Berle.
Milton Berle, yeah. They didn't get to who was famous for having a cigar and never lighting it.
Oh, well, a buddy of mine, Al Goldstein, the owner of the Moonlight Bunny Ranch, he never smoked cigars. Al Goldstein, Al Goldstein was the Screw Magazine guy. I knew who
he was.
Yeah, but I'm thinking of the Moonlight Bunny Ranch dude, Dennis Hoff, who would always.
No, it wasn't him.
He would pose with huge cigars, but he'd never smoke a cigar.
No, there was a famous guy who had a cigar in his mouth every day.
Well, it's a great prop for a comedian, don't you agree?
Red Skelton.
Oh, yeah. See, there's another guy that, Ronnie,
gorgeous.
Ronnie, it hurts me, and it hurts my feelings that anyone under 50 would have no idea who the hell we're talking about now.
No, that's true.
Doesn't that drive you crazy, Ronnie?
Your audience must be at least in their 80s.
Well, I doubt it. But, they're checking a lot of Wikipedias right now, man, for these names. And it's like,
you're right.
Not 20 years ago when I mentioned a Milton Berle, and everyone would know who the hell it was, but not anymore. It's like, who's that? And even a guy as great, Ronnie, as Johnny Carson. You mentioned Johnny Carson to someone under 40, under 45. They have no idea.
I did six Johnny Carsons.
I know you did. And you killed.
And I was funny. I was damn funny. But he was not the friendliest guy in the world, I'll tell you that. Did you know that?
Listen, I know that we all have our angst. We all have our dark side. And listen, I can only have conversations with folks on the radio. I mean, that's Ronnie.
No, I see you occasionally at some of these shows. I'm starting to think the last time I saw you in person.
It was here, man. It was here.
No, it was a wedding. It was a wedding.
Oh, yeah, I sort of remember that.
Remember? Yeah.
Hey, Ronnie, now that we're on YouTube Live.
I didn't hear about that. When did that happen?
Under Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio recently.
Wow.
We need to get the great Ronnie Shell into this 1876 Virginia City, Nevada style bar so you can do what you do best, and that's to be on camera.
I'd love to be. Where are you? Are you still over there in the same place?
Here, the hills of the San Fernando Valley, and Ronnie Shell, you are cordially invited. We'll set that up when Lori and I get together with you on a Friday.
It's got to be when it's not too hot, because there's no air conditioner in that room. Am I right?
You got a point.
Yeah. Hey, HR man Billy Dilly, aren't you setting that up? Aren't you fixing us up with some air conditioning?
I'll work on it right now.
Yeah, right.
Is your brother still there?
My brother and our other...
Your younger brother.
Yeah, yes. That's pretty much all that I have.
Everybody's younger than you.
Ronnie, these days, see that? That's Ronnie Shell.
Are you getting more depressed, Matt?
I can't get any more depressed. I
can't help you be happy. I'm right there. I'm right there with you. Everybody's gone. Everybody's gone.
Everybody's freaking gone.
Everybody.
And Ronnie,
I'm going to tell you a true story.
All right.
Very short.
Ronnie Shell.
It's not funny. It's
All
not
right.
funny.
All right.
But 10 years ago, every night between 10 and 10:30, I'd get about 15 calls, for sure 10, and they were from buddies down here. You weren't included, by the way, but I can tell you that I don't get any now at 10 o'clock. I'm all by myself.
Yeah. See,
Me and
Lori?
my lovely wife.
See, Lori?
Matt, you can call him at 10.
Are you up?
No, don't call me. Don't call me. I'll just come over there.
Yeah, I gotta find. We gotta schedule a Saturday that's not going to be hot in the next couple weeks.
Yes.
Get your ass over here. How's your son? Is he still doing well?
Well, I have two sons. Both of them are doing very well, but Greg is now co-producer of his fourth movie.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Which is, yeah.
Great.
Yeah, Greg's the one I know. I don't know your other son.
Greg's the one you know.
Yes, that's. Is there an echo in here, Ronnie? Dan,
He's a good guy.
And all the old bits coming back, man. Because I was born, Ronnie, as you probably know, I was born 100 years old. So I only appreciate the classics, the people who cut their teeth in the business, who could dance and sing and tell jokes. And
thank you very much.
I know that. I know you can dance. I know you can dance.
What about some of the women that you dated?
All right, yeah. I just noticed that we're running short on time here, Ronnie. Yeah.
Is what's her name still on the air? Seriously.
Ellen K here in L.A., yeah.
Is she still on the air?
Yeah, and still missed being good looking by that much.
Oh.
Well, her eyes are too close together.
Did you hear him? Did you hear what he said, Lori?
Her eyes are too close together.
Good thing she's on the radio, right?
Well, so was my one of my best friends, Ted Bessel.
Oh,
His eyes
Ted.
are too close together.
Yeah, he croaked quite a while ago, but I would have loved that guy. I know I would have loved.
Oh, you would have. He was very funny.
He used to
go with Marla Thomas and make ugly faces behind her back.
on that girl. See, once again, we're talking about shows that you have to be now in your 60s or 70s to know.
Yeah, that's true.
Ronnie Shell, I love you. I will get your butt over here. I am going to search.
I'll come over.
All right. I love you, man. 90 years
Can
old.
I get some cigars?
And I have a stogie for you, and he sounds like he's 16.
Yes, always.
Ladies and gentlemen, legendary Ronnie Shell on Outlaw Radio.
You never told me about your younger brother. Is he still with you?
Yeah, no, he is, but he has a real excuse for not being here today. I love you, Ronnie. I'll bug you. Working. Aloha, my friend.
I know what the excuse is.
What is it?
Hatred of you.
Oh.
Hatred of me.
Oh, no.
No, Ronnie knows people. We'll be this after back at Outlaw Radio.
You're listening to OutlawRadioLive.com. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Of a golden palomino, carrying a man who fights wherever justice needs a champion.
In a hideaway on the other side of the hill, with Hollywood close enough to smell, one man dared to step up to the bar and talk. And other outlaws heard the legend and joined together to tell their tales. This is how it began. Smoking, drinking, interrupting. Magic Matt Allen. This is Outlaw Radio.
You realize a few minutes ago, Ronnie Shell said my brother Mart hated me? Did you hear him say that?
I did.
What you got there, Billy Dilly? What you got there, Billy?
I just happen to have something for your belated birthday.
Our HR man, who is usually outside barbecuing by the pool, and I noticed a bottle of amber. What is this? Oh, look at this. It's a fancy bottle, my friend. Jefferson's very small batch blend of straight bourbon whiskeys. Let's see what the... hold on a second. Whoa. 82 proof?
Dude.
Hold on a second. That didn't make... No, 82.3 proof. I'll tell you what, that is, it's a happy day. Jefferson's.
I'm leaving it to you. You can actually put it in a glass and keep it.
Yeah. What do you mean by that, Bill?
Well, I heard that you had a problem with somebody that brought you a nice little bottle and gave you a sip and never gave it back.
Oh.
It's funny
they took it home.
Isn't that funny you bring that up? For those who missed the show last week, I'm going to dive into that next hour. We're going to replay that segment because I thought it was worthy about the cheapness of some people. And
love everybody.
I mean, you'd think that this guy would know because he's worth a few $1 million, but he brings over a bottle of bourbon and gives us a thimbleful, and then takes it home with him. So I will play that with Tattoo Dave next hour on Outlaw Radio. But first, a couple things here. Boy, I need a glass.
What do you mean?
Ice?
Well, I need a glass for the burb stream.
Oh.
I mean, if he's going to be nice enough to give me bourbon, I should be sipping it on the show, don't you think?
Yeah.
It's very kind of you, Billy Dilly. Actor Fred Ward, Tremors. I loved him in Tremors. I mean, that was my favorite, man. He was in The Right Stuff, Fame, Dead at 79. Veteran actor. Lori, when I mentioned Fred Ward, do you see his face?
Yeah, I do, because I saw him on the news.
Okay.
I saw him with Kevin Bacon in the news for a movie they did years ago.
Tremors.
Yeah, Tremors. You know, I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting that Bacon was in Tremors.
Yeah, he talked about, him doing worms or something with him, and that was his memory with Fred Ward.
Well, the worms were the creatures that were underground. They'd call them worms.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw the first one, and I loved it. And then since then, I think they've done about a dozen.
Yeah, and all of them bad.
Yeah, but the first one is a great movie. And Fred Ward is perfection in this thing. God rest your soul, the great Fred Ward.
I really liked Remo Williams.
Oh, yeah, he was good. You know, Fred Ward was pretty much good in everything he did. He seemed like a real stand-up, cool dude that if he were alive today in this 1876 Virginia City, Nevada-style bar, I bet he'd be sipping some bourbon with us.
Oh, yeah.
He also did Escape from Alcatraz with Eastwood.
Okay.
Another one of my favorites.
Okay. Can I move on, or do you have more to list?
I have lots more, but you can move on.
Thanks for your permission, Mark C.G. Boyer. An assignment question given to students in a Missouri high school is being criticized by parents over its characterization of Republicans and alleged racism. It's disheartening to see that this type of indoctrination has been instilled in our public schools. Republican Missouri State Rep Nick Schroeder told Fox and Friends. The question appeared on an in-class online assignment at a Holt High School advanced placement government course. It asked students, now listen, Lori, it asked students which political party is most likely to believe that the fatal shootings of unnamed African-American men by police officers is not due to racism.
What?
That's the question given to their students at Holt High School.
Oh, my God.
The correct answer, according to the assignment, was Republicans.
Of course.
The question was shared on Twitter by Libs of TikTok. Shore recalls that when he was in school, the political views and personal lives of teachers were not typically known by students.
Right.
I didn't know their pronouns and didn't know if they were married, but now we're injecting these seeds of hate, these seeds of Marxism to destroy this next generation that should be preparing to be the next generation taking on the American dream, becoming successful adults. And instead, we're making them hate their country because of all of this hate, and they're injecting into our curriculum. And it's true, man. Day in, day out.
You know what, Matt?
Yeah,
I'd love
Lori?
to hear these kids tell us what the American dream is.
Yeah.
Like today, these kids that are going to be our future and deciding what happens to us.
It seems to me that many of these kids, the millennials and younger, have given up. I mean, that's the impression I get.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, they expect like the worst stuff happening because they lived through some of these things that they couldn't believe.
Let us touch base with Steve Abbott, our intrepid Wisconsin spy. Steve sent me something that it sort of fits into, dovetails into this story. And some things, even in the smallest of towns, that you wouldn't expect in this indoctrination to happen in these small burgs, would you, Steve?
No, sir. No, sir, not at all.
But you sent me, and give me sort of the thumbnail sketch of this. And it does dovetail with this story, does it not?
Yes, it basically happened in Kiel, Wisconsin, where a transgender student at 8th grade was more or less bullying an introvert into using the proper pronouns they, it, whatever wanted. And another male student kind of stuck up for him, saying it's the First Amendment. You don't have to say what you want him to say. Mm-hmm. And the bullied and the protector, if you will, are now being charged with sexual harassment in Kiel, Wisconsin.
Did you hear that, Laura?
Wow.
Are you digging this?
I'm not digging it, but I think it's like ridiculous.
I mean, what is to be done except... But you know why they're going nuts over this, Steve Abbott? Because they have the right regime in power to put the hammer down. Steve, don't you agree?
Well, yeah. They want it. And there's one thing you have to realize about life. You are who you are from 8 to 13 years old. Unless you go through an epiphany in your life, and I've learned that, you know, and even like Floyd would ask you about your childhood, quote unquote, or, you know, in classic teachings of psychology. And you can usually pick people out on those 5 years of pivotal years in their life because it's right after you become self-aware, right? And then right before you hit the puberty growth spurt, right? And it's no different than a tree growing up. If you give it the right nutrients when it's young, it will really grow. If you don't, it's going to die.
Smart.
And that's why they're going after the kids more than anything else.
Yeah, in this story, I didn't know their pronouns, didn't know if they were married, but we're injecting seeds of hate. A spokesperson for the College Board, which provides materials for AB classes, says that it did not provide the questions for use in the classroom. Oh, is that right? So where did this question come from? Then, parent Lindy Williford says it's frustrating to see the school district and the College Board both failing to take accountability. I mean, what shoulders then does this rest? Parent Amy Benninghoffen said which sounds like a name that Jerry Lewis would spit out in a movie.
I was just thinking that.
Amy Benninghoffen, Mahoffen, said the forcing of political ideology was not occurring at Holt High School when she attended. My teachers were very good at playing devil's advocate to everyone in the class, no matter what their opinion was, which taught us to think critically instead of telling us what to think. They were teaching us how to think for ourselves, and I think that's where we're losing our kids today, she said. And it's exactly what's happening. And for the past 50, 60 years, I believe, this indoctrination in schools has been happening. But now they're out in the open, Steve Abbott. They're out in the open because they feel as though they have nothing to fear. Don't you get that impression?
Well, yeah, because they feel that they have every major institution on their side. And then when you look at it, think of it like interest, like on a loan, or even like your 401 stock, 401k or stock market. You put a little in, and all of a sudden there's a huge ramp that it goes up. It's the butterfly effect. Lay the seeds. Not all of them are going to take, right. But sooner or later the value's going to go up and the dollars, everything's going to go like that. That's just what's going on. But there is a silver lining to all this.
Please help us, Steve Abbott from Wisconsin.
Well, during the 1990s and the 2000s, more conservative people had kids than on that side, and now people are waking up, and we didn't really have the internet, and that's why censorship of the internet matters so damn much, because they don't want it getting out. Now everybody can literally see on a video what people are saying, and they're pissing the mama bears off and the daddy bears off.
Yeah.
And that's what's going on, where people are pulling their kids out.
And the bottom line here, Steve Abbott, Mr. Wisconsin, is that and a truck driver, and the ridiculousness of this is that you don't have to be a conservative. You can be an old school Democrat, and I think that those old school Democrats whose party has now vanished before their very eyes, I think they're coming to the fray. People like Bill Maher. Aren't you surprised that a Bill Maher and those of his like are sort of getting it now? They're getting it that it's gone too far, right?
Well, yeah. When people got a certain amount of ego and they don't want to be told they're wrong, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, you are who you are from a certain age, and you keep on going through life, and you're thinking, well, everything is nice in this country, which it is, for the most part. There's bad parts, of course, but they don't want to believe it.
Yeah, we call it Pacoima.
yeah. But even look at there's a meme Elon Musk posted where he's like basically got the same values down the line, but he kept on saying how the left is keep on going further and further to the left.
Right.
But he's really not changed. And it's like the walk away movement. Like they say, the Democrat Party. I didn't leave the Democratic Party; they left me.
Yep.
And that's just the way it is. It's just no different than a balance effect, where if they put enough weight farther enough out, that they're trying to get their way. But like I said, there's such a backlash and a resentment undertoning in this country, I don't think that they realize that's why they're going for the basics. The kids, the guns, the this, the that. And they know it's going to snap back,
How about teach our children to read, write, and, a little arithmetic, that sort of thing?
No, but that's an R. That's racist. And so all start basically with R's or the R-type or syllable. Those are all racist. You know that. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, of course. All right, let's get to the good stuff in the last 90 seconds, 2 minutes here with the great Steve Abbott. What is the name of that friggin' place that I need to visit because I saw an eating challenge at that joint with an 11-pound prime rib, and I want to attack at least a 2-pounder. What is this joint?
It's the Black Otter over in Hortonville.
The Black Otter in Hortonville, Wisconsin. God love you people. Have you ever enjoyed a prime rib at the Black Otter?
Oh, yeah, that was that picture I sent you. It was actually, that's a couple of years ago. I sent it with a bottle of Sun Drop in the back. That was, and you come home basically with a quart and a half or 2 quart bag of leftovers if you can't pull it down, or whatever, and they make it,
Is it as good as it looks?
Well, am I anorexic? No.
Okay. All right, we'll be this after back on the Big Dog, Outlaw Radio.
Buy a new car, but the price ain't right. Ain't that gold? Be a damn sight cheaper, just to do it. Start riding the bike. Listen, they're making milk out of powder. Yeah, they are. Got the babies crying. Poor baby, they know what that stuff is. The rent's gone up higher. Yes, it is. Got the parents lying. I'll pay you tomorrow. Lord, it's a real motherfucker. Yeah. Make you wanna run for cover. Yes, it will. And if you look, you will discover. Yeah. Lord, it's a real motherfucker. Good dog. Listen, got to go to a disco. Throw your troubles away. Dance to the music. That the DJ play. Well, all right. And then the lights come on. Yeah. Like you knew they would. That cold. Gone home and face the music. That don't sound too good. Ain't that cold? Listen. Lord, it's a real motherfucker. It'll make you wanna run for cover, yeah. And if you look, you will discover, yeah. Lord, it's a real motherfucker, yeah. Cold-blooded, I'm telling you the truth. Let me stop here at this gas station.
This is Outlaw Radio.
Lots of really good stuff. Lots of good stuff. Good stuff for the upcoming hour on Outlaw Radio. I promise you that. I'm trying to find some of this good stuff. Like
Good stuff.
little cockpit travesty.
Absolutely.
On Virgin Atlantic. I'll get to that in a few minutes.
Really?
And I'm laughing because no one died, but wow, the crap that's coming down in 2022. And 6 union organizers met with the labor secretary, vice president, and the president at the White House. And in this picture, Kamala's the only one wearing a mask.
Doesn't she have COVID?
What?
Doesn't she have COVID?
I don't know. If she has COVID, why is she even in the photo? Why is she even there?
Right.
Shouldn't she be locked down?
Oh, yeah. Get out of here.
And then from last week, I'm going to replay this because I loved it so much. The World's Cheapest Man, featuring Dave Weiner, Mr. Tattoo, and the rest of the crew, coming up next hour on Outlaw Radio. Mattel's inclusive dolls.
Uh-oh.
Include wheelchair and prosthetic leg Barbie and vitiligo Ken.
What?
Now I will tell you this. See, this doesn't bother me. For those who
a movable leg.
But do you know what vitiligo is, Lori?
Vitiligo?
That's what Michael Jackson suffered from. It's
the skin thing.
Yeah, the discoloring of the skin.
So there's going to be a bad skin Barbie?
A bad skin Barbie, a wheelchair Barbie, and a prosthetic leg Barbie. But see, this is one of those.
Meow.
Oh boy, that would be no. I think they're separate dolls, Laura.
Oh, marketing.
They've introduced new additions to its inclusive and diverse set of Barbie products. But this time I'm on board.
Racist.
You are?
Yeah.
What happened to you?
Okay, you're obviously not a feeling, thoughtful person, Lori.
But I am.
I'm thinking about the child in the wheelchair. I
was thinking about adults.
I think that's a sweet. Adults and Barbies? What are we on the same show here?
Almost.
And those with a prosthetic leg, those kids who have that.
Okay, so you would buy this doll only for those kids, but would you allow that doll?
No, I wouldn't buy the doll because I'm not interested in these dolls. But for those children who have these what would you call them? You know,
limited editions, right?
Inabilities.
You can't even say inability or affliction anymore. But who suffer from these things? Suffer. See, there I did it again. You can't say anything, but I think it's a feasible thing, and I don't think it hurts anyone.
So is this a limited edition?
I don't know. Andy Dick was arrested on suspicion of felony sexual battery. What a dick.
Oh, no pun intended.
He was arrested following an incident at a campground in Orange County, California. Why can't that guy keep his hands to himself? And it was a quick story. I have not kept up on the story, but if I'm a betting man, I'm betting it was a male, and or a boy.
You think?
Because this Andy Dick. Yeah, he had the world by the old huevos when he was on that talk. What was that show? Talk Radio? Whatever the hell that was. A sitcom about radio. And then all went downhill because it appears that Andy Dick is a nutbag.
No.
Yes, Lori. Yes. All right, Minnie Driver's in the news, and I can't wait to tell you about her. All that and less in mere minutes on the Big Dog of Broadcasting from an 1876 Virginia City, Nevada-style bar in the hills of the San Fernando Valley, spitting distance from Hollywood, and on YouTube at Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio.
Plantains, by any other name, are still bananas. And now there's a new game in town led by an hombre named... The dive bar at the end of the Walk of Fame. The cartilage left over in a bag of Popeye's chicken. Chronic talk from stars, would-be stars, wannabes, and people who just want to hear themselves talk. This is Outlaw Radio with Magic Matt Allen. What a boy would be if Siegfried and Roy had a son.
Yeah, get him up, hose him down. Rawhide. Welcome to Outlaw Radio, live from the Light in the Lounge, smoking, drinking, interrupting. On YouTube at Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio. And our podcast, simply punch into Google, Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio. So many ways to get us. And my personal Facebook page, MattalAnDieio. Hey, Minnie Driver. Hey, Lori, you know who Minnie Driver is?
I+I.
Yes, I do.
She says Goodwill Hunting producer told her she was not sexy enough for the film. I got to tell you something. That producer was spot on. Spot on. I never found Minnie Driver sexy or even attractive, for that matter.
No.
You wait. Are we on the same page for once? Lori?
Maybe. I mean, I don't find her attractive.
No. So the producer said, no, you're not sexy enough. She revealed and they call this a devastating experience she had with a Goodwill Hunting producer who said she was not sexy enough for the role she played in the movie.
Why cast her then?
I don't know. Well, the casting department, but they say here in the article, a producer. So I guess not the producer, could have been a line producer, and that devastated her, Lori.
Of course it did.
Would that devastate you?
Hell no.
No. It's like, I got the part. I'm happy.
And then I'd probably agree I'm not sexy enough, but I would make it the best I could.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was fine in the movie. I liked it.
She was fine.
Yeah.
I never thought much of the movie, frankly. In what's been described as a major embarrassment for Virgin Atlantic, a New York-bound Airbus A330 was rerouted back to London's Heathrow. You've been to Heathrow, have you not, Laura?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I love England.
A lot of blokes there?
Hey, bloke.
Yeah, why all the feedback?
That's your headset.
Okay, it's always me, even though I've been doing this since I was 12 years old.
I can cut everyone's mic and, whatever.
40 minutes into the journey, the pilot of the Airbus A330 was informed by bosses on the ground that the first officer had not completed their flying exams.
Oops.
The service was rerouted back to Heathrow, much to the annoyance of passengers and cabin crew. You could have cut the tension of the cockpit with a knife, one source told the Sun newspaper. The source explained the plane was near Ireland when staff received word that the first officer was not qualified, and they had no choice but to return to London to pick up a more experienced crew member. It was embarrassing for everyone, and the passengers were furious. The blokes were furious as they were enjoying a spot of tea, or at least thinking about it. First officer is tasked with some of the most important jobs in commercial aviation, talking to air traffic control, assisting with takeoff and flight procedures, and should anything happen to the captain, commanding the flight as well. Flight VS3 initially took off from Heathrow at 9:41 on Monday. But then made a U-turn and touched back down, at which point the highly experienced captain set off for John F. Kennedy, JFK, in New York.
Review.
He felt secured there, huh?
I guess so. And I don't know. Laura Garza was working out her travel plans. She's 41 years old, from Brooklyn. She was heading to the White House. She worked at the Starbucks roastery in Chelsea. She's worked at Starbucks for 22 years.
Wow, that's quite the career.
As a
barista?
That's a long time. She joined the downtown New York location last May. That roastery voted to unionize in early April, joining a wave of over 50 Starbucks locations that have said yes to organizing. Well, this is the time to do it when you got old ass bite in charge of the United States of America. Unionizing is important for all of us partners at the roastery. Okay, call yourself partners all you want. There's one owner, all right? You're not a partner, you're a worker bee. You poor friggin' macchiatos. And by the way, she was at the White House with the entire group of idiots, including but not limited to the fake president, who kept saying, I'd like a macchiato, please.
Oh, God.
I'd like a unionize, and if you got a second, I'd like a macchiato. But she said it was a real proud moment. Honestly, my parents always instilled in my brother and I to always vote Democrat. No, I just added that, but you know that. And to always remember where our family came from, Garza said, adding, we came from extreme poverty. Well, guess what? That's where most of us are now because of that doofus idiot stick who you are meeting, and it's a proud moment for you to meet the guy that is not even slowly but quickly ruining the United States of America.
You know what the good news is?
Boy, I'd love some good news, Laura.
The good news is we're going to slim down as a country. We're going to all be very thin because food is so expensive.
Right.
Babies are gonna die
because we're not eating. Oh, that was it? Okay.
Well, yeah.
And then Garza said, I'm the first one in the family to visit the White House. And it was overwhelming and humbling honor. And, of course, Biden says that he intends to be the most pro-union president, leading the most pro-union administration in American history. To that, I say, duh. And we didn't talk about the cavity search that Johnny Depp supposedly performed, and I only wanted to mention it because that's hot.
Yeah, but that was also his girlfriend, or his wife, right? So
yeah,
what's the problem?
You mean with the search?
Yeah. What's the problem?
I like where you're I like what I'm smelling here from Lori. I'm with you. That's it. But he accused her of hiding cocaine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what if I accuse you, Lori? What if I accuse you of hiding cocaine?
You wouldn't do that, Matt.
Well, listen. If I get a cavity search out of it,
you don't care what she's hiding.
No.
Oh my God.
No, it could be a muskrat, but I'm searching for it.
Muskrat love.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. I have a few more minutes. Oregon's Menstrual Dignity Act requires schools to place feminine products in boys' bathrooms.
Oh, good. That's fantastic.
It's very confusing for children, and then when they hit puberty, they have even more confusion about their bodies and have real difficulty understanding what's going on in their world. A lot of them go into depression. They act out, and we're seeing more and more evidence that is causing kids to be confused, depressed, and to have to act out and have very serious problems going forward.
Well, maybe they're teaching kids to be gentlemen and to be considerate of women going through this thing, and they're getting them from the young childhood to
but
say,
they're children.
Here you go.
They're children. This is that idiot stick Governor Kate Brown, Oregon. Oregon idiot stick.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, and she calls it the Menstrual Dignity Act.
There's nothing
mandating. No, there's nothing dignified. No, you're right, Lori.
You bleed and die, my God.
That's
so
it,
gross.
man. That's it.
Levin says they're turning into snowballs.
Governor Kate Brown signed this into law. And they must by law now have the tools in both male and female bathrooms.
They are tools.
Yeah. It's an absolute implosion of the family, a violation of the family, she said, lamenting the onslaught of LGBTQ rhetoric in elementary schools. That's Bridget Barton, who's digging deeper into this ridiculous controversy.
These people have nothing to do with themselves. They don't know what else to do.
But wouldn't you think that at least 80% of human beings living in America would listen to this and hear that menstrual products in a boy's bathroom is sort of stupid?
At a child's level. They're ridiculous.
At any level.
How would you like to go to a fine hotel and see feminine products in the men's bathroom?
I'll be looking for the feminines.
It's all, by the way, it's all coming. Oregon, they've got a foot up on this. The ACLU calls for tampons in men's rooms in order to achieve menstrual equity, Lori.
Menstrual equity.
Yes, it's very important to have equity when it comes to the old cycle-aroo. They're in shock, they're in disbelief, they're angry, they are exiting the schools as fast as they possibly can, and Oregon has literally run out of room in private schools. They're all exiting the public schools. They're saying, enough of this crap. This is so stupid.
I would never go public with
charter schools. They can't get enough kids in there. I mean, they're filled up, man.
Charter schools have always been filled up, though.
The Spartan emphasized her state's education crisis, reflecting on Governor Brown's suspension of all graduation standards. Do you understand that, too? She suspended all graduation standards, so everyone gets to graduate.
Oh.
She also reiterated parents' urgency to move their children to private schools. Oh, this is Barton saying this.
Oh.
Perhaps more than 30,000 students left the public schools last year, and of course, the left will tell you that it's because of the pandemic. But it ain't. It has nothing to do with that.
No.
The truth is, it's a little bit about the pandemic, very much about the indoctrination that continues.
It's true.
Oh, my God. I mean, I would say it could be worse. We live here in California. We could live in Oregon.
Do they have water there? In Oregon?
No, Laurie, it's a tri-state.
Ah.
I don't understand the question.
Oh, I was just wondering because California's a dry state, so I was wondering if Oregon was also.
Okay, first of all, we're not a dry state. Second of all, don't listen.
What are you laughing at, Mark?
Don't listen to Mark C.G. Boyer, okay? Dry state doesn't mean whatever.
That's
okay, just stop it. Let's move on.
Okay.
What happened?
The Disney-owned brand Marvel, are we through with this? Are we all in agreement that putting friggin' tampons in a son of a bitch in men's bathroom is stupidity at its height?
Only fair if you put condoms in a girl's bathroom.
Nothing to do. One has nothing to do with the other.
Almost.
The Disney-owned brand Marvel is rolling out more transgender characters, with transgender co-creator Charlie Jane Anders touting the addition of Escapade. And she's not alone, Marvel says. She'll also bring along her best friend and fellow trans mutant Morgan Red. Morgan was there for Sheila on Escapade when she was first transitioning, and the two of them kind of supported each other through their transitions. This is a cartoon, right?
Or a super person movie.
Yeah, a Marvel friggin'... Oh, God, we're all in big trouble. We're all in big trouble. November can't come soon enough. Actress Andie MacDowell recalls having a panic attack right after Trump got elected. She says, I dropped to my knees.
That's not the first time.
Which was probably reminiscent of how she landed her many acting gigs. The election of Donald Trump. See, you stepped on my line there, Laura. But
sorry.
No, I'm glad you're thinking. The election of Donald Trump and a room full of men drove actress Andie MacDowell into what she says was her first panic attack. Oh, wow. Bill Maher, not on Obama's bandwagon when it comes to a certain topic. I like that. John Legend suggests people are upset over baby formula, but given to illegals instead of Americans are not pro-life. So because we hand over our baby formula to illegals instead of Americans, according to John Legend, we are not pro-life. Lori, are we going in early?
I was adding my mouth.
Oh, you're adding your math. John Legend, married to a dip-ass, but good-looking. John Legend, I guess he's good-looking, right? Do you know this guy, Lori?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know who he is.
Okay. Idiot sticks on parade, and more of them in the news next as we proceed from an 1876 Virginia City, Nevada-style bar. We drink, we smoke, we interrupt. We outlaw radio.
The legend of the Phoenix all ends with beginnings. What keeps the planet spinning? The force from the beginning. Love. We've come too far to give up.
keeps on giving. What is this I'm feeling? If you wanna leave, I'm with it. We've come too far to give up who we are. So let's raise the bar and our cups to the stars. She's up all night to the sun. I'm up all night to get some. She's up all night for good fun. I'm up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to the sun. We're up all night to get some. We're up all night for good fun. We're up all night to get lucky. 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 She's up all night to the sun. I'm up all night to get some. She's up all night for good fun. I'm up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to the sun. We're up all night to get some. We're up all night for good fun. We're up all night to get lucky. 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 She's up all night to the sun. I'm up all night to get some. She's up all night for good fun. I'm up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to the sun. We're up all night to get some. We're up all night for good fun. We're up all night to get lucky.
And now, Billboard Magazine's Radio Personality of the Year nominee, Magic Matt. This thing's gotta be rigged.
Disney's Hocus Pocus 2 star Bette Midler slammed by moms for, quote, try breastfeeding tweet. Insult to mothers everywhere. Left-wing Dumbolt Hollywood actress Bette Midler, star of Disney's upcoming Hocus Pocus 2, callously replied to a report explaining America's baby formula shorted by saying, try breastfeeding. Midler was hammered and called out by hundreds of mothers, many of whom shared their breastfeeding horror stories in response to her cruel and insensitive tweet. First thing that I've heard from Bette Midler in years that makes sense. You know, of course, taking it off the hands of Biden and the whole formula shortage thing. But, yeah, I don't know. Did you try breastfeeding, Lori?
No, because you know what? That's so personal.
That's not true. Remember?
No.
Oh, okay.
Damn!
Oh, come on.
Matt, settle down.
I'm 16. I must be 16. Yeah. Deprived.
I didn't get it either.
So you didn't do it, Lori, right?
No, because it's such a personal thing, and what it does is it bonds the mother and the daughter, and it doesn't have any bonding with the father. So I was against it.
No, I never heard that.
Yeah, that's weird. Broadway backs Patti LuPone after her vulgar F-bomb mask rant. Broadway officials appear to be backing stage star Patti LuPone. Or is it LuPone, Lori?
LuPone.
You should know because you were on Broadway.
Yes, and she's excellent.
After her maskless, vulgar F-bomb laden tirade aimed at an audience member she claimed was not wearing a mask correctly, the 73-year-old Broadway star broke out into a foul-mouthed rant from the stage following a performance of her musical company that quickly became a viral video. Put your mask over your nose. That's why you're in the theater. That is the rule, LuPone screeched from the stage, adding, if you don't want to follow the rule, get the F out. But she said the word, Lori.
Wow.
This is a paying customer sitting there wanting to see the great Patti LuPone, but not wearing the mask. So they're not saying that this person wasn't wearing a mask.
Yeah.
They simply weren't wearing the mask correctly in LuPone's eyes.
Well,
yeah.
I have nothing to say about that, but she is very talented.
Patti LuPone putting an anti-masker in their place at a talkback after the show. Just follow the effing rules and keep the performers safe. two-time Tony winner, who was not wearing a mask herself on stage, continued berating, saying that the fan was being disrespectful to those around her in the audience. LaPone also said BS, but she said the word to the fan who said the audience members pay LaPone's salary. Yes, it's not BS. That's 100% correct.
Maybe she has Tourette's.
Despite several days of attacks on her tirade, LaPone doubled down, and she was also backed by her producers, according to the New York Post. LaPone posted a purported PSA video in which she explains that she wears a mask. No kidding. What a friggin' idiot stick.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's supported by her entire cast and crew, and of course, what would you expect there from a bunch of Broadway idiot stick lefties?
That want to keep their jobs.
Money! Who want to keep their gigs. It's true. All right. Thanks to the great and ubiquitous Lori Downey Jr. All right. Mark C.G. Boyer. My HR man, Billy Dilly. Finally sitting there at the big chair. Boy, you have graduated, my friend. I will continue to be Magic Matthew Allen, the man with so many monikers. That way I get more votes for Homecoming Queen on OutlawRadioLive.com, throughout great radio stations, and on YouTube now. Simply punch in Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio. I love you more than most people, certainly more than your neighbors. And don't forget, bumblebees can't fly.
Everybody said it was a shame, 'cause her mama was working on a chain gang. I mean, vicious woman. Every day for supper time, she'd go down by the truck patch and pick her mess of poke salad, carry it home in a tow sack. Poke salad, Annie. The gators got your granny. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Everybody said it was a shame, 'cause her mama was working on a chain gang. Richard Spiteful.